So maybe like you guys, nearly all of my net worth isn't in cash, it's in assets like equity and stocks and crypto. And so if I want to donate to a charity as opposed to giving cash, what I'll do is I'll have to sell that asset and then give it to the charity. But the problem is when I sell those assets, I have to pay a massive capital gains tax on the assets. And so I'd like to give to these causes which I support, but the IRS takes a just massive, like you can see the numbers, a crazy chunk of that money before it reaches the cause that I want to donate to. But I just got introduced to a solution to this problem. This is something I think is just really good for anyone who is considering a donation or charitable work to know about. So I want to show you exactly how that platform works, and I think it's a really just awesome idea even if you aren't planning on donating anytime soon. And also I'm going to give away $1,000 to charities through this platform in this video. And to start this off, we're going to donate the first $100 of the $1,000 we're giving away in this video. And we're going to donate to the American Financial Education Alliance, which supports financial literacy in America. Let's click donate now. I'll click grant. Let's go $100 and grant. That's the first $100. Let's get back to it. And so just here's the problem if you aren't familiar with how this works. Let's say you bought some Bitcoin or Ethereum a few years ago for $1,000 and now it's worth $10,000. And let's say you have a bunch of other assets, you're feeling generous, you want to donate that $10,000 to a cause that you believe in. So what you do is you take that $10,000 in Bitcoin or Ethereum, you go ahead and sell it, but then you have a $9,000 profit and you owe capital gains tax of up to 20% on that. So you're paying $2,000 straight to the IRS and then you're left with $8,000 to give to the charity. So you lose the $2,000 that could have gone to the charity, number one, and number two, your tax deduction is smaller. Now you can only write off $8,000 instead of $10,000. And if your tax bracket is 30, 40, upward of 60%, then that's also an additional $1,000 that just cost you. And that isn't just crypto. It is crypto, but it's also stocks, real estate, NFTs, any kind of asset that has gone up in value. And traditional charities, for the most part, cannot accept these kind of assets directly. So you're just stuck in that loop, at least until now. And before we dive into the platform and I show you around, you need to understand what a donor advised fund or a DAF is, and I promise you it's simpler than it sounds. So a DAF or a donor advised fund is basically like a charitable savings account. You put money or assets into it, then you get the tax deduction immediately for this year, but you don't have to decide where it goes right away. You can let it sit there, you can invest it, you can let it grow tax-free, and then you can actually distribute it to charities and nonprofits whenever you want. Now, the uber wealthy have been using these kinds of vehicles for decades through places like Fidelity Charitable or Schwab, but these things have minimums, they're slow, they're just kind of a pain to deal with, and you still can't really see where your money actually goes. So that is where Endaoment comes in. That's the platform for this video, and this is where it starts to get into. So if you are holding those appreciated assets, whether stocks, crypto, NFTs, real estate, you know exactly how painful capital gains taxes are because you already paid taxes on that money once, now you're paying even more. And so Endaoment is an on-chain 501c3 community foundation for charitable giving. They're like a charitable checking account, again, a DAF like we just went over. And so on the platform, you can take those appreciated assets, transfer them directly into your donor advised fund. You can let that money sit, you can let it grow, you can invest it over time, or you can disperse it immediately at any point to any of the 1.8 million qualified nonprofits that they support when you're ready. So we're going to jump into it in just a second. If you do want to follow along and get a feel for the platform, just hit the link in the description. It is, of course, completely free to sign up, and you can get started while you listen to this video and a little bit about donor advised funds, blockchains, and just getting a look at the platform. So let's jump into my computer, we'll sign up, and I'll show you how it all works. Okay, so this right here is what the dashboard of Endaoment looks like. You can see any funds that you've added right here, and I want to show you just from the start how to go ahead and create your own DAF or donor advised fund. So I'll go ahead and click start a DAF right here, and if you haven't already, you can go ahead and just sign up, create an account at app.endaoment.org. I'll click start a DAF, and I already have one set up on the platform. Let's call this, for example, financial education DAF, so I could use this just to give charitably to organizations supporting financial education. We'll click proceed. I don't want to dox myself, but essentially you just fill out some information with your name, your email, your address, and then you click create fund at the bottom here. And it's as easy as that. This is all on the blockchain. It's perfectly transparent, and that fund will go ahead and be created for you. And this has all of those taxable benefits that we just spoke of. So you can import funds, you can let them grow or sit for as long as you want. You get the tax write-off immediately. And then you can grant those assets to nonprofit. And just to show you what it's like to add an asset to this, let's say I want to add some cryptocurrency to the balance of this DAF. I'll go ahead and click donate now. You can add cash, stocks, crypto. I'll go ahead and click crypto and then direct transfer. If you have Coinbase or Robinhood, that's even easier. But I'll go ahead and add some Ethereum. We'll add 0.01 Ethereum. I'll click register donation. Then I'm going to go ahead and copy that address right here. And then over here in MetaMask, I've selected ETH. I'm going to go ahead and enter 0.01. Fee is just 13 cents for that transaction. Transaction is submitted and I'm all done. And that right there is about as hard as this process gets. Again, if you have crypto on Coinbase or Robinhood, that's even easier. And stocks and cash is even easier than crypto. Okay, guys, now we're going to give away another $400 from our donor advised fund, but we're going to do it through something special, which is an endowment campaign called Fund a Cause, Not a Problem. And the idea is, instead of just focusing on the band-aid symptoms of underlying problems, you focus on donating to charities and nonprofits which support the actual systemic underlying reasons for that problem. So that in mind, we're going to donate to a nonprofit that supports rural education in Mozambique. Fun fact, that's near where my dad grew up. Let's go ahead, we'll click right there, and I'll donate for $100. Let's click grant. Okay, and some of you who are not familiar with this space might be like, why blockchains? Why is it good that this thing is built on blockchains? Isn't that just a buzzword? And sometimes it is, for sure. But blockchain, in my opinion, is more valuable than the actual crypto tokens. It is a fundamentally new way of transacting and storing information. And in this case, it solves a very real problem, which is that oftentimes donations are just black boxes. You can't actually see where they go. But with Endaoment, every single transaction is on the Ethereum blockchain. And with the blockchain, it is all public, it is verifiable, and it is transparent. So you can literally watch your money move from your DAF, your donor advised fund, to the nonprofit in real time. And instead of taking weeks to transfer, it takes minutes. You set it up, you hit one button, and you're done. Here's what it can verify and track and see. And on the other side of it, the nonprofit can start using that money the second you send it. It settles instantly. And that is the power of building things on transparent infrastructure, and specifically on blockchain. It is fast, it is transparent, and it is public. And so guys, the math just maths on this one. Genuinely, this is a superior model, in my opinion, to donate to charitable causes if you have to sell capital gains taxed assets to do so. If you want to pay more in taxes and less to charity, you know, do your thing, but I would bet money that none of you are in that position. So this is how I personally am going to do this from now on. And that in mind, let's jump back into my computer to give away the last of our $1,000 that is still sitting in the endowment account. And now we're going to finish this off by donating another $500 to a children's hospital in South Africa. I go ahead and done. And here's another 30 bucks for financial education. Okay guys, so we gave away $1,000 in this video. You watched me set up the fund, you watched the transactions go through. Maybe you learned what a donor advised fund is. And so if you have, again, appreciated assets, period, and you donate or you may donate in the future to charity, then don't wait until December 31st. You can click the link in the description right now to get started. So again, that link is below. Go hit it right now. Just set up an account for the future, even if you don't plan on saving right now. So go hit that link, go support the causes you believe in. And that said, I appreciate y'all being here, and I'll see you in the next one.